This video is for the Miller RFCS 14 HD foot pedal. It's hooked up to my Miller Dynasty 200 DX, and I've been having this problem ever since I had the welder. And it was something that I just kind of worked around. It was kind of easy to deal with at first, but it just got more and more annoying and degenerative after a while to where I had to just do something about it. So the symptoms are that when you're finished with your weld and you're trying to, you let go of the pedal, it stays on, just a few amps, but it's still on. You can hear it, and sometimes you will also hear the high freq starter going off, like it's trying to start again if you pull away or something like that. Also, you'll get a help 10 code on the machine if you have the same machine I do, or a Miller or whatnot, and that's the foot pedal code. And it was kind of easy to deal with after a while. I just learned that I just had to tap the back of the pedal, and it would stop doing that. It would turn off, and the code would go away. And obviously the code would come on startup if you plug the machine in and it says like help 10 when you start it, and then you tap the foot pedal and then it'll go away, the code. But the other day it started to get worse and worse, and what was happening was the arc would just stay on constantly. Even if you pulled away, it would stay on, and we've all heard horror stories of people being blasted by a wild arc. So it's actually a really simple fix inside the machine to do, and I understand why it's like that, the way they have it anyway, their mechanism that causes the problem, because it's such a small tolerance. As soon as you touch the pedal, you start to get an arc, which is a good design, but I guess with such close tolerances, a few are gonna be too close and just won't turn off. So the way that it works is there is a switch in the back. So as soon as the pedal, you can kind of hear it click. But obviously I've done the fix already. But as soon as you touch the pedal, that trigger engages, which starts the arc. Now there's like a little pole back here that touches the trigger, and on the foot pedal what was happening was it was just too tight. So when the pedal came down, it wasn't disengaging that switch. On the front of the pedal assembly here, there's this dial, like a gain type device, that when you push on the pedal, it spins this dial and you get more or less amps. So anyway, here's the fix. It's obviously dealing with the thing back here, and there is a different way to do it than I did, but I'm just going to show you how I did it. And obviously, from doing this fix, you're gonna change a little bit, like the lowest amperage you can use. Like if you have it set to 200, you might not have that minute adjustment for amperage that you want at the very end of the pedal. But anyway, so all you do is you come underneath here, and there's these 4 screws, and you just take these 4 screws out. Okay, once you have those 4 screws out, you don't want to just pull away the whole thing. You kind of want to, at this connection here, just kind of lift it up like this, like at a 90, and slowly pull it out. Be careful of that. And this is the mechanism right here that I was speaking of. And you can see all that I did was I just slightly bent this trigger at the end. Of course, the degree that you bend it will affect when it starts, when you push the pedal. I just slightly bent mine. Another thing you can do if you want that minimal, adjustment at the end, is just take a piece of tape and keep taking it apart and putting up layers of tape until it starts to work perfectly all the time. But that's just the fix. This small little doohickey or whatnot right here is what causes that problem. And I've seen some people have actually gotten rid of these foot pedals because of that not turning off situation. But when you're putting it back in, just make sure you put this in there and you route this cable down in this channel down here and put it back together, and that's it. And this was that mechanism I was talking about, just in case you're interested. When you push the pedal, it turns that dial, which increases the amps